Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Lords of Limited. My name's Ben Warning. Joining me on the line, as always, Mr. Ethan Basking Rootwalla Sachs. Ethan, I saw a tweet last night that the Madness deck in Vintage Cube is some tier 2 nonsense, and you're here for it.
Yeah. Have you played the newest edition of the Vintage
I
Cube yet?
I've drafted once and played a round, and I've successfully comboed off for the first time with Brain Freeze Breach LED and was very proud of myself.
Nice. That's great. That's way better than the stuff I'm talking about. Yeah, they seem to have seeded in a kind of like draw, discard, graveyard madness kind of deck into the
Hogak?
cube.
You in the Hogak life? The Hogak bracket?
Hogak, I haven't. I mean, the problem with the deck is, and I think a big problem is that LSV made a video like forcing this deck the other day, and so I feel like now even more people are empowered like me, and it really. The problem with these tier 2 strategies is you really don't want to be competing with other people
For a tier 2 strategy?
like I had a draft that I was where I was trying to do this thing. I could tell it was contested, and then pack 3 pick 1, I opened Monument to Endurance, and I was like, okay, I will take a good card out of this pack, and then Monument will wheel, and Monument did not wheel.
Oh no.
So it's not great when you're fighting people for it, but my tweet stands that I just feel like I just need more. Like, it doesn't take much to make me like want to jump through some hoops, and I can't be alone, and that's what I like to do in Cube. And I just think they could throw in like half a dozen more cards that were like I bring Ketchamos back, you cowards. Like, bring stuff that's like last pick garbage that people want to build around. I don't think that has to be better than whatever the 10 worst cards in Vintage Cube currently are.
You're just a hamster that wants more wheels.
That's me,
Differently
baby.
sized wheels to spin in.
Yeah. And this is my last wheel spinning of 2025.
It is rapidly coming to a close.
Yeah, so today we are going to be doing our best parentheses and worst of 2025, mostly focusing on the best, but worsts are allowed when you see fit. So we've got a whopping 20 categories. I don't know whose dumb idea it was to do 20 categories.
Definitely yours.
Narrators, it was mine. Yeah, it was my idea. So probably maybe too many categories this year, but whatever. We got 20 categories to look at. The sets of this past year. The sets that we chose to do were the 5 major releases. There are no pick 2 draft formats represented here. So we've got 5 sets to look at in these various categories. And I'll tell you, I always think at the start of the year, since I don't forget how long we've been doing this, 3 years now, 4 years. But at the start of the year, I'm like, oh, I should just answer the categories when we do like 50 takes for like every set.
No.
But I would deny. Well, it would make my life easier.
But the fun of doing this ep is just scrolling Scryfall and being like, oh yeah, I remember you. Oh, I love that card.
For sure. The trip down memory lane is great. And it's so satisfying when you're like scrolling. You're like, I don't really have a good answer for this category. And then you see a card and you go, oh, that's the answer.
Yeah.
That's very satisfying. So I agree. I will continue to probably feel the way I feel throughout the year of like, oh, I should do this, but no, it's way better to dive down memory lane. Let's do a little housekeeping. Then we're going to hop right into these categories. Patreon page, patreon.com/Lords of Limited is where folks can go to give back to the show. If they so choose, you can start 2026 off with a bang by joining the Lords of Limited Discord via the Patreon. Get in on some chats about the new sets. We got Lorwyn coming up in just a few weeks. So, diving into spoiler season is a great spot for being in the Discord, and just a really awesome place to, there's like lots of channels in the Discord, people talking about food. I'm sure there'll be food pics shared over the holidays. That's really cool. People talking about, various other interests outside of Magic, but it is a core Magic community. And so you're going to get new set stuff, practice drafts, what's the pick, what's the play, all that good stuff via the Discord. And also want to shout out our podcast feed where you get access to this episode a day early, ad-free, and also access to our weekly bonus episode of Lords Unlimited. So if any or all of that sounds of interest to you, head on over to the Patreon page, and we want to shout out our new patrons the first week that they join. This week we're welcoming Matt, Simon, Alex, and Isaac. Thank you. We really appreciate your support.
Cannot say thank you enough. Those folks know what's up for 2026, and you should be getting in on the Discord as well.
Okay, and should we just dive right in to number 1? Any honorable mentions overall, or any thoughts before we get into the lists?
Yeah, I think we should give the disclaimer that best means whatever you want it to mean. Like it could be
Yes.
could be your strongest, could be your favorite, could be your fondest, could be your pet card, etc., etc. We are not trying necessarily, and sometimes it will be, but we are not necessarily trying to pick what we think is the strongest power level card in each category. They were oftentimes powerful, but not the most powerful for me. And then worst are optional. And for me, you said you had almost no worst. I have a few, but for me, it was cards that I was like, that card's the worst. Not really like low, low in power level.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Just
yeah, with those
the
disclaimers, I'm ready to kick it off.
Okay, so first category is common removal spell. I have the great thing is I feel like you usually come locked and loaded with many honorable mentions, and I don't. But now because I freed up myself, I don't have many worsts. I got lots of honorable mentions.
You got the
So
nominees for each category.
yeah, the nominees. Well, so my honorable mention for common removal spell is just the cycle of exhales from Tarkir Dragonstorm,
Yes.
which I think were format defining. I mean, Piercing Exhale, that's the green one aside. I think they were format defining cards. It was cool to have that cycle. Just at like that's probably the thing I will remember the most about that set, and it was certainly the thing that jumped out to me when I was scrolling through. So honorable mention for Exhales, and perhaps it's recency bias, but I am going to give the nod to Firebending Lesson from Avatar.
Yeah, I think if you're going objectively powerful, I think it's got to be Firebending Lesson or Thunder Magic from Final Fantasy.
Correct.
Those are the
Yeah.
two that I think are in contention. I also wanted to shout out Chocobo Kick as I think the fight spell or whatever
Mm.
bite spell that I have been most excited to play in several years. Like that was a very cool variant on that. And a nod to White Orosite as a card that I drastically underrated, I think, through the entire life of Final Fantasy. But my nominee, however, is going to go to Ride's End from DFT.
Ooh.
Very sweet removal spell, and I think went up, 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 up the whole format. 4 to white for an instant to destroy target non-land permanent, and it costs 3 less to cast if it targets a tapped creature. And just truly an excellent Magic the Gathering card. I think when I was looking, that was the one I felt the most like. This was very, what do you always say, Marie Kondo. This was very what sparked
Yeah,
joy
what
for
sparks
me,
joy for sure.
and
Yeah.
Ride's End sparked some joy for me.
Love it. Yes, I will be giving Rides End some love later on in the lists.
All right, that takes us on to Common Creature. The nominees from me: Forecasting Fortune Teller.
Okay.
I enjoyed quite a bit, but I don't think it's there. Galactic Wayfarer as the representative from Edge of Eternities. Dragoon's Wyvern as a representative from Final Fantasy.
Okay.
A host of creatures from Tarkir Dragonstorm. Martyr Devotee as a nod to the
Mm.
Devotee cycle and being just a very cool part of that format. Sibsig Appraiser, as I think if you're trying to give it to the most objectively powerful card, you got to give it to Sibsig Appraiser, but that is not where I went. Shock Brigade as a card that
Ah,
sparked joy from
that's
Tarkir
the
Dragonstorm.
that's the one in a red 1/3 menace, and it had like mobilize
Mobilize one,
one.
yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
And then from DFT, DFT's cleaning up in the early categories. Couple of nods. Thunderhead Gunner, think
Yeah.
has to win some awards somewhere, whether it's here or not. That's the 4/5 that could discard a card to draw a
Oh.
card.
Yeah, we should have because that was the Imperial Oath Award winner. We should also that should be for next year because we have best Golden Egg. We should have best Imperial
Oh,
Oath.
now that we're doing that every 50 takes, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Migrating Ketradon, just as I love a Honey
Yeah.
Mammoth,
Big boy.
but the winner for me goes to Wreckage Wickerfolk. 1 in a black, 1/3 artifact creature when it ETBs Scry 2 or Surveil 2,
Surveil
and
too.
has flying.
Yeah, that card was a house.
Wanted to give it the golden egg and you wouldn't let me, so I'm giving it the best common creature of 2026.
Because it's too good. How good
Too
is it
good.
that you're like, well, if I can't give it a golden egg award, I'll just make it the best common of the year. I love that. My honorable mention went to Galactic Wayfarer because I think we shortchanged it ever so slightly
Nah,
because we were
card's garbage.
you were a Cryogen Relic lover. I was a Virus Beetle lover. And those three cards, I think, were like just such a crux of what Edge of Eternities was in terms of the commons. And I think Galactic Wayfarer got left out of the conversation. It's still not winning any awards. It's just happy to be here. I did give the award to Sibsig Appraiser from Tarkir Dragonstorm because I felt like it still needs reparations from how dirty we did it after early access.
Well, that takes me to my first nominee for worst, which is Snowmelt Stag for Common
Yeah.
Creature of the Year. Worst Common Creature of the Year. The 3 and a blue, 2/5 Vigilance, and you can pay 7 mana to switch its power and toughness.
It was a win condition at common, Ben.
Or no. That's not true. It has. I don't remember what any of these cards do. You pay 7 mana to make it unblockable, but it is a 5/2 during your turn.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
Win condition at common. That is a factual statement. It has
So,
power and toughness and could attack unblockably. Not hanging with Otter Penguin and Giant Koi though.
no. Sorry, friend. All right, number 3, common build around. I went maybe a slightly rogue because I don't think we were talking about this card like this during the set, but I gave my award to Zookeeper Mechan from Edge of Eternities. That's the one in red, 1/3 mana dork. Because there was this incredible curve you could do in Edge with just commons, but you could only do it. I mean, I guess Gene Pollinator too, and that was floating around for me as a common build around as well. But Zookeeper Mechan lets you go 2-drop into a 4-drop that made a lander, into crack that lander and maybe play a 3-drop into Nebula Dragon on turn 5. And that was all at common. Zookeeper Mechan got that train running. Love that card.
I have an honorable mention here, which goes to Dragonstorm Globe from Tarkir Dragonstorm.
The Year of the Manolith.
Year of the Manolith. I think important to shout that out, and also just how hard I missed on how that format worked. At the start of the format, I was struggling, and it was just lol, cast some dragons. It was very, very straightforward. But my award is going to go to, again, cleaning up Packdoll Terror from Aetherdrift. 3 and a black for the 3/4 artifact creature. When an artifact enters, you drain 1, gain 1.
Packdoll Terror is a great answer for this. DFT with the early returns over there, Ben.
DFT with the early returns, yeah. Takes us on to number 4, which is a new creature we've added this year, which is common non-creature spell. And also with the caveat, not obviously a removal spell, because we've already awarded it to a removal spell.
Which is slightly narrow. I do feel like there's not like it can't be a creature, it can't be a removal spell, can't be a golden egg. Doesn't leave a ton.
I've got 10 nominees I'm looking at here.
Okay, go for it.
So, Focus the Mind as a card that sparked joy from Tarkir Dragonstorm.
Sure, that's the best friend of Narset's Rebuke, right?
Yes, best friend of Narset's Rebuke, where you Narset's Rebuke something and then focus the mind to draw 3, discard 1. Felt so good. Combat Tutorial, which is why this category was created, because I was like, Combat Tutorial needs some love.
Yeah.
That is an excellent card. The Divination plus put a +1/+1 counter on something. As well as 2 other, I think, cards that could be considered for underrated common, which is Presentful Revelation and Dreams of Laguna, has 2 of the best card draw / card advantage spells in what was a grindy format of Final Fantasy. To represent Edge of Eternities, Pinnacle Killship as spacecraft. That's bordering on removal spell, but that card sparked joy for me very much as I was floating through the spoilers. Several others from the current format, which is Waterbending Lesson and Idlequentia. Both excellent. But
is Idlequentia not the worst common non-creature spell for you?
It is not. It is not. I do have a worse common non-creature spell, though. The best has to go to Cryogen Relic.
Yeah, like send the Oscar in the mail. Like it's you don't need to show up. You know you won.
Card is excellent. I assume that's what you awarded it to also?
I did give it to Cryogen Relic. That was sort of why when this is a new category for this year, and I was like, how can you give it to anything but Cryogen Relic?
I think Resentful Rev or Dreams of Laguna or Combat Tutorial, I think that could be reasonable answers.
I think they could be reasonable answers. And I gave honorable mention to Starting Column, which started off the Year of the Manolith.
Ooh, I like it. Worst common non-creature spell of 2025 goes to Silken Strength, baby.
I forgot about that card. Wait, what set was that from?
That was from Aetherdrift, maybe?
Is that from Aetherdrift?
I don't know. Let's give it a check here.
Yes, from Aetherdrift. Okay. In my mind, we did that cold open more than that wasn't this calendar year. That's funny.
This calendar year.
Nice. Okay, good. Next category is underrated common. For my honorable mention, I shouted out Ride's End from Ether Drift.
Ooh, okay. I think
I
that's too
think,
good to be underrated, but I guess underrated doesn't have anything to do with power level.
yeah, I just think like it's very good. It was definitely underrated for the majority of that format's lifetime, and I think perhaps even up until the end of it. But I gave it to Black Mage's Rod from Final Fantasy because
Ooh, because
this
you
might.
savagely underrated it?
No, I savagely underrated it. This may have been the start of our Lords Unlimited card bets.
How much money do I owe you currently? 20 bucks?
$60. You're in
60
the
bucks? Good
you're in the
lord.
whole three bets, three $20 bets against me. I believe you said quadruple or nothing next time, so maybe you'll get your money back. But so we had a bet about what card was going to be better, Black Mage's Rod or Heck Dies. You were team Black Mage's Rod, I was team Heck Dies. Heck Dies was not a magic card in that format, as far as I'm concerned. Black Mage's Rod might be, in my head, might be the best black common in Finn. It could win the award for best common non-creature spell. It could win the award for best common build around. You could twist my arm and say it's a common creature. It's very good, and I do not understand how it has a lower game in hand win rate than Heck Dies.
Thank you.
So I'm trying to right the game in hand win rate wrongs and award Black Mage's Rod the most underrated common.
That sounds like I only owe you 40 bucks. That's how that sounded.
I don't think so.
Underrated commons, some nominees. Perigi Beckoner from Edge of Eternities,
Mm-hmm.
as I think one of my favorite cards from the year, as well as another one of my favorite cards from the year from Edge of Eternities, which is Nanoform Sentinel, the 3/2 that could tap and untapped
Yeah.
and do the spacecraft shenanigans. Sahagin from Final Fantasy, which almost got the award. That was savagely underrated and ended up
But then
being
overrated, I think.
no,
I
impossible to
think
overrate that card. It's so good.
okay.
Gala Cat as another
Hmm.
common that looked just truly atrocious and is, by my opinion, the best white common.
As he still underrates White Auracite to this day.
Still underrated white Orsay to this day. Yep. Nailed it. See what you did there. Champion of Doosan as like could have
Yeah.
been like common build around for Champion of Doosan
Sure.
from Tarkir Dragonstorm, the 4/2, the 2 and a green that like kind of led the green mid range beatdown deck, but it's got to go to my boy Otter Penguin from
Yeah.
Avatar: The
I
Last
was
Airbender.
I was wondering where's Otter Penguin going to go? Is Otter Penguin walking home with multiple awards today? We'll have to wait and
No.
see.
It's just this one.
Okay, nice.
That takes us on to category number 6, which is lands. There were some good lands to choose from, often
Yeah.
at the rare slot.
Mm-hmm.
Honorable mention for me goes to Secret Tunnel from Avatar: The Last Airbender as a very cool card design that was exceedingly frustrating to play against and very fun to
Yeah.
play with. But the award has got to go to Adagia Windswept Bastion from Edge of Eternities and the cycle of mythic rare planets that could
The,
station up. Those
the
were
station lands.
so sweet in that format.
So is that the white one you
That's
shouted
the
out?
white one, yeah.
Yeah.
That could like you could loop lock your opponent with some of the artifacts and enchantments that ETB made
Mhm.
them sacrifice things or kill things.
Yes, I honorable mentioned Secret Tunnel, the Station Lands, and Corey Mountain Monastery from Tarkir Dragonstorm was the red land that was like card advantagey. Got you to like you could exile something and then play it until the end of your next turn. I had some really cool control decks off the back of Corey Mountain Monastery being my card advantage engine. But I wanted to, if possible, award this to a non-rare, and I really, really loved Rumble Arena from Avatar: The Last Airbender. I think they've done some really cool iterating on the filter lands with a twist, and this one had Scry, not Surveil, but like the little bit of card selection with the Scry was nice. Vigilance on the land was really cool. That played so well with Earthbending. Getting to then Earthbend it die, you get the Scry again. Even playing it in just like your multicolor soup decks without a lot of Earthbending because of the fixing. Rumble Arena was great.
Love that answer.
I have a worst.
Ooh, okay.
Command Bridge from Edge of Eternities. In the set with like no fixing basically other than landers, you had this common land that you were like, oh, is this is the Evolving Wilds variant, or this is the pick a land type variant? No, this you need to tap something when it comes into play, and it's tapped. This card was atrocious.
Wasn't there a cycle of uncommon lands you hated this year, or were those in Bloomborough last year?
Oh yes, yes, the Bloomborough ones, the ones that like could only use their mana to cast the creature spells, and it got
Yeah.
me like multiple times. Like I kept convincing myself like I could run it in this deck, and then I would get owned. Yeah. All right, number 7, the best golden egg of 2025. The nominees are Barrels of Blasting Jelly from Avatar: The Last Airbender, Nutrient Block from Edge of Eternities, Resentful Revelation from Final Fantasy, Jeskai Devotee from Tarkir Dragonstorm, and Starting Column from Ether Drift. I said it's got to be Resentful Rev for me. The card it's too good. It's too good.
Too good has been called.
It's a very good card.
For as much as I loved Final Fantasy, I did not cast that many Resentful Revelations,
You
and I
you
did
don't
not
play
cast that
black.
many Dreams of Laguna. I don't play black.
You don't play
Wow.
black. You don't play black. The last time you played black was when you kept first picking, what was it? I want to say Skittering Surveyor, but that's not it. The one in a black 1/3 from Tarkir Dragonstorm. That flyer, that's like the last time you've played black.
No, I played black in Final Fantasy. Red black triple triad was my go-to deck.
And Resentful Revelation is great in that deck.
I know, but I never got to play with it because people picked Resentful Revelation higher than I did.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
I played plenty of black. My award, I think, and this is not close to close for me, it goes to Nutrient Block for Edge of Eternities.
Ooh.
Loved that little card. 1 mana for an artifact, food, indestructible, 2 tap, sack it to gain 3, and when it's put into a graveyard from the battlefield, draw a card. That was the gluiest of glue cards in that format. It just really tied the room together, and the packs were so weak that you would just see a pick 7 Nutrient Block and be like, yes, get in my pile. If nothing else, you will just be like an artifact on the battlefield that I can cash in for a card later in some life. But oftentimes there were great synergies to go with it in multiple various colors. So loved a Nutrient Block.
It was great to get to pick one up like late in pack 1 and be like, oh, I have nothing that this works with currently, but I know by the end of the draft I will.
That's a golden egg right there.
Yeah, for sure.
Takes us on to number 8, Variation on a Theme, which is a reprint with a twist like Virus Beetle or Bitter Reunion.
So did you see this question in the Discord? So because I posted our like list because last year people had fun playing along at home, and so I posted our list of categories for folks if they wanted to play along. And someone was like, "Would Sorceress's schemes count as a variation on a theme?"
I don't think so. I think it needs to be a pretty direct quote.
Yeah. So like this is like I said I don't think so, but like the rules are loose. So if Ben's gonna have to shout out Sorcerer's Scheme somewhere on this list, I assume. And
Correct.
So if he came to the table and said, "This is where I'm gonna shout it out," more power to him. But I think of these cards as like clear. We have like divinations, we have mind rots, we have tormenting voice, like these variants of archetypal cards. So what do you got for the variation on a theme for 2025?
Variation on a Theme for 2025. This is where I chose to shout out the Year of the Manolith, and I gave Variation on a Theme to Dragonstorm Globe from Tarkir Dragonstorm.
Nice.
3 mana, tap, add 1 mana color, and each dragon you control enters with an additional +1/+1 counter on it.
Yeah. Best friends with Caustic Exhale.
Best friends with Caustic Exhale, best friends with dragons. I think just a very cool key card in that format.
Mm-hmm. I gave a couple honorable mentions here. I threw Combat Tutorial from Final Fantasy as Divination with a Twist, which is very funny because I forget if it was exactly last year or the beginning of this year. We were talking about like divination is washed. How do you make divination better? And we were like, maybe I could add some board presence. And here it is. Here's an additional +1/+1 counter for you. I also shouted out Abandoned Attachments from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Really nice to have a hybrid costed Thrill of Possibilities that had a type that mattered. That was really sweet. But I gave this to Perigi Beckoner that's walking home with a second award because this is that, like, we always get that black trick, the +2/+0, whatever, supernatural stamina, the thing that's like, if it dies, it comes back. And this is that attached to a creature with the the warp tech, so you could have it for 2 mana, but it was just so much better than that. It
So
just
much better than
did
that.
did so much. So and I think I definitely missed on this in
Oh, me
previews.
too.
This card was not on my radar at all, and it was one of my favorite commons in the set. So Perigi Beckoner, you are my variation on a theme.
Love to see it.
Number 9, uncommon removal spell. I got nothing but the award. I got no worsts. I got no honorable mentions. I just gave it to one card.
Which is?
Dubious Delicacy from Edge of Eternities.
I think that's one that is extremely powerful. That one did not
Mm-hmm.
spark joy for me, so I left it off my list. It was
Okay.
funny when we got to the uncommons, there were not tons that sparked joy for me. Like it was either give it to the best of them, and there weren't
Yes,
many in consideration.
I agree. For the first two categories, for the other two, they were clear for me. Like I had some fun, but I agree. For uncommon removal spell and the next one, which is uncommon creature, it felt like, oh, feels like
I'm
there's
just
a
gonna
clear
pick one
one.
of these very good cards that I don't feel a strong attachment to.
Correct. Yeah, it's an interesting. Had much more affinity for the commons than the uncommons.
Some nominees for me though. I did get a smattering of nominees. Team Avatar and Iroh's demonstration from Avatar: The Last Airbender. I like
Nice.
mostly because I wanted to shout out Team Avatar. It's not really an uncommon removal spell. I guess I could have put it in uncommon non-creature, but it kind of breaks the rules on both categories.
Sure.
And Iroh's demonstration is just straight up Plague Wind. Card that was very close to winning the award, which was Momentum Breaker from Ether Drift,
Yes.
as a
Thank
card that sparks
you.
joy. Yeah, start
Yes.
your engines, Edict Effect. I think if you wanted raw power level, this might be the winner. And raw power level and uniqueness, which is Fire Magic from Final Fantasy, the tiered deal 1 damage, deal
Mm.
2 damage, deal 3 damage. But the card that sparked the most joy for me from Edge of Eternities, Tractor Beam. Control magic,
Ooh,
lock that down,
wow.
tap it down while Tractor Beam's on the battlefield. There were Nanoform Sentinel tricks. I loved a good Tractor Beam in Edge of Eternities.
It's a great answer. I like your answers much more than my boring dubious delicacy answer.
Takes us on to number 10, which is Uncommon Creature of 2025. I have a lot of nominees. Do you want me to go? Do you want me to go first? Do you want to
Go
go
for
first?
it. Go for it.
All right. Sokka Lateral Strategist, as a
Mm.
shout out to Avatar: The Last Airbender. Several cards that sparked joy from Ether Drift for me. Spike Shell Harrier, which was very close to winning the award, the 4 and a blue giant mana war. Risen Necro Regent as the Start Your Engines Grave Titan. And Scary Terry, Terrian World Tyrant, the 9/7 vanilla. Also very close to winning the award.
I'm glad you shouted out the vanilla creatures.
Krakik Guardian from Tarkir Dragonstorm as just
Yeah.
like the most powerful one that jumped off the page to me.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I think this is very close to winning the award, but it didn't spark much joy for me, which was Shantoto Tactician Magician from Final Fantasy. That's the blue,
Oh.
red, gold uncommon there. And then several cards from Edge of Eternities. Umbral Caller Zealot, as a shout out
Mm.
to the infinite combo that you could do in Limited. That was very cool. The sacrifice thing with Perigi Beckoner. Codecracker Hound, which kind of redundant with Sibsig Appraiser and didn't want to give it to that. And I think what I'm going to award it to is what I think is the most versatile card I've ever played with, which is All Fate Stalker. 3 and a white for the 2/3 uncommon. When this creature enters, exile up to one target non-assassin creature until this creature leaves the battlefield, and it's got warp for 1 and a white. And it's weird. This is like the one where I felt like that card's so powerful, I just have to give it to that. It didn't
Mm.
particularly spark joy necessarily, but
Yeah.
it just seemed like a clear winner to me.
It's a good card. Yeah. A couple other honorable mentions, and now as I'm going through honorable mentions, you're doing the nominees. I'm thinking maybe next year we collab a little bit more, and because I like the idea of and the
Coming up,
nominees
we
are
collaboratively come up with a list of nominees and then each pick
correct.
our award winners.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that might be a nice thing to settle on for next year. Okay. Cards. So Codecracker Hound, I think for me is if you want to give it to the most powerful, I would give it to Codecracker Hound. But I don't want to do that because that's slightly boring. So cards that spark joy for me as I was looking through the spoilers or the card lists for all the sets. Wingblade Disciple from Tarkir Dragonstorm. Loved an excuse to
Ooh.
try and get into the double spell deck, and this was such a good payoff for it. Spike Shell Harrier from Ether Drift, the 5 mana 4/4 that bounce something and reduce their speed. This card was a house. For me, I will also be picking a white uncommon creature from Edge of Eternities, but it's
Oh.
Starfield Shepherd, which when you said the most versatile card, I was like, oh, that's how I think about Starfield Shepherd. This is white Muldrifter. So good. Just being able to go grab your one drops. I had some insane curves with like Gene Pollinator on one into Warp Starfield Shepherd. Go find another Gene Pollinator. Like just nasty stuff you could do with Starfield Shepherd. Really, really good card. Love it. This category was fun for me. Uncommon non-creature spell. There was a lot to like in this
Whoa, what
category.
about uncommon build-arounds?
Oh, I just have those reversed for me. I have uncommon build around as number 12.
Oh, that's weird. All right, uncommon non-creature spell it is.
Okay, the nominees for me: Invasion Submersible from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Okay.
Just what if we made Muldrifter a 3, or what if we made Mana War a 3/3 that you couldn't interact with at sorcery speed? The
I think that's
cycle of
dangerously close to a creature.
this could be dangerously close to a removal spell. Like, very good. The monuments, the cycle of monuments from Tarkir Dragonstorm. I loved these cards, the 2 mana artifacts that went and got a land, and then you cracked them for some number of creature tokens later on. Phantom Train, all aboard, Choo Choo from Final
Choo-choo.
Fantasy. That is the maybe only card in that set that sparks joy for me. That's the card where I'm like, all right, I'm in. You got me. Phantom Train. And then, but I did end up giving it to Marshall's Path Cruiser from Ether Drift.
Ooh, nice.
That, again, just like a lot of fond memories of cards in that set, like Ride's End. Path Cruiser falls into this category of like something I wrote off early on and then slowly was like, oh, this gives non-green decks a 6-power creature.
Yep.
It's really important in that format. It's a very cool card.
I also have a lot of nominees. This is a very fun category. Shout out to Ring of the Lucci. Not in terms of power level at all, but in terms of just like
yes, the power level. Shouted from the rooftops. Better than white Auracite.
Better than white Auracite. I love a Ring of the Lucci, and one of the things I try to do with my nominees here, there's a podcast that I listen to called the Dan Le Batard Show. It's a sports podcast based out of Miami, and they don't do it anymore, but there used to be a bit that they would do where they would just like play a game while they were doing the show that had no meaning to me at all. But it was they would just start like naming random 90s baseball players from certain teams, and everybody be like, oh yeah, I don't know. Like just liked hearing the names of people that played baseball in the 90s. And like
that's what's happening right now.
That's what's happening right now. I just wanted for the Ring of the Lucci fans out there, just wanted to give them a shout.
Yeah.
Also loved Restoration Magic from Final Fantasy. It was one of the coolest tricks in that format. Bewildering Blizzard as -3/-0 to the team, draw 3 cards. That card was oppressive. And then another card that was very cool, War Effort. Whenever you attacked, you made the 2/1 and it gave your attacking creatures +1/+0. Very cool card. Shout out to, I think, one of the more underrated cards and mechanics in Ether Drift, which is Hour of Victory. 2/2, start your engines, and once you got up to your engines online, you could go Demonic Tutor for whatever you wanted out of your deck. The card was excellent and did not get nearly enough love the entire format.
Yep.
And the winner, though, going to, I think, what is just objectively the most powerful card in this category, which is Stock Up, 2 and a blue, sorcery. Look at the top 5 cards of your library, put 2 in your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. It's not too often a card goes into Vintage Cube from Uncommon and is a very high pick in Vintage Cube.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great shout. All right. Uncommon build around. What do you got?
Oh, wait.
Oh,
before we go to Uncommon build
do you have a worst?
I have a worst.
Yes.
Uncommon non-creature spell, which is a personal worst, which is Elixir for Final Fantasy. 1 mana artifact. Enters tapped, 5 tap, exile this artifact, shuffle all non-land cards from your graveyard into your library. You gain life equal to the number of cards shuffled into your library this way. I was clearly mind pilled, and I was very hopeful that this was going to be something, and it turns out it is hot steaming garbage.
Yes. Yes, it is.
So now on to uncommon build-arounds.
Mine is clean. I have you. If you have honorable mentions or anything, and you've got nominees, there was only one answer for me.
You go then.
Push the limit from Ether Drift,
which I think it's on my list. Didn't win the award for me because I didn't do it hardly ever. one or two push the limit decks towards the very end of the format, and I am very sad that I
Mm.
missed that corner of Ether Drift. That's on me.
Yeah, so this was the 7 mana red spell that lets you return all your mounts and vehicles, and it crewed your vehicles until end of turn. And so you just had this like, you just got to grab all of the garbage cycling vehicles or mounts and just cycle, dig to push the limit. And it's like not as powerful, not nearly as powerful, obviously, as like Zenith Flare, but a similar thing where like cycling, digging you towards your payoff. Push limit was great. And there were the tools there to get you there. Like Ride's End was a really big piece of not dying while you were on your way to winning with push the limit.
Yeah. That was on my list, and I figured that was yours, so I didn't want to steal
Yeah.
your thunder. Couple more nominees for me. Ether Siphon from Ether Drift. 1 blue artifact, start your engines. 2 tap, draw a card. And when you have max speed, whenever you draw a card, each opponent mills 2 cards. Another nominee from Ether Drift, which almost got the award for me, but it's getting another award, which is Haunt the Network. 3 blue-black for an uncommon sorcery. Choose target opponent, create 2/1/1 Thopter creature tokens with flying.
That was, we were like, that's Zenith Flare. And then we were like, oh my God, Ether Drift has a second Zenith Flare with push the limit.
Which is very cool. So Haunt the Network. But this is where I chose to give the nod to Sorceress' Schemes. 3 in a red, sorcery, uncommon. Return an instant or sorcery from a graveyard or exiled card with flashback you into your hand. You add a red, and it's got flashback for 4 in a red. And if you had 2, you could do the loop-de-doops. And if you had triple triad, even better.
So gross. If you had this rare, even better, which Ben always did. Just
You always
draft like
did.
you have triple triad.
Strapped like you have triple triad. People hate that card.
All right. Number 13, best rare of 2025. A couple nominees for me. Riverturn Monument from Ether Drift as the millstone with exhaust to mill like equal to the number of cards in their graveyard. Probably too pushed, maybe, but like just a very cool alt win con. The Sariema from Edge of Eternities, which was a pet card of mine. Just love that. Really trying to get a legendary once you have that, but I'd play it without one too, because the 3 mana 5/5 flyer was good. But I must give the award. I feel like this is such a good Venn diagram for a card that was really annoying as a rare, too good as a rare, and extremely meaningful as our friend Jared drafted not one but 2 of these in his quest to conquer his PTQ top 8 draft. And that's Dion Bahamut's Dominance from Final Fantasy.
That is also my award winner as a nod to Jared. Yeah.
Nice.
Also my award winner. I have a couple other shouts, which I'm embarrassed for you that you didn't shout out this card, which is Entropic Battlecruiser from Edge of Eternities. You like the Sariema more than Entropic Battlecruiser? Entropic Battlecruiser was your boy.
Yeah, but like Entropic Battlecruiser is my boy, but it's not. I was perhaps too Entropic Battlecruiser pilled. It's a very good card, but yeah, I didn't feel like I could shout out multiple spacecrafts.
I wanted to shout out Requiem Monolith as well as a very cool Grim Monolith variant.
Oh, yes.
in 2025. That
not Grim Monolith variant.
Not Grim Monolith, sorry.
Phyrexian Arena.
Phyrexian Arena. Sorry, yeah. I've been watching too much Vintage Cube. Also want to shout out Weapons Manufacturing as a card that was the dream, and the dream never really got there. The rare that could have been.
I did it once.
I made a bunch of mana with the Tolarian Academy variant with it. never really killed anyone with my bomb tokens.
You haven't lived until you've, what was that auxiliary something, the 2 and a white 2/2 flyer that picked something up. You haven't lived until you've picked up a Weapons Manufacturing token with your 2/2 flyer and then shocked something.
Another rare on power level that's similar to Dion, especially in the sealed format from Final Fantasy. I'm always gonna remember from that sealed thing we did in Vegas or wherever we were. It was Vegas, right? For Final Fantasy,
Vegas.
Yeah.
Yep.
Arden the Usurper, the 5 BBB 4/4 that reanimates something into a 5/5 and Menace Lifelink.
Menace Lifelink.
Menace Lifelink haste. It happened in the turn it came down.
From either graveyard.
Yeah, the card was dumb. And then another card that I also hated, but isn't winning the worst award, but I think needs shouting out as an egregious rare, which is Meringue River Regent from Tarkir Dragonstorm. That card was horrific to play against. And I do have a worst rare of 2025, which is Infinite Guidelight Station from Edge of Eternities, the Wooburg
Ugh.
spacecraft with 12 plus station, and it still did nothing if you did all of the work and jumped through all of the hoops.
Yeah. Shocking, truly.
And then also shouting out Triple Triad as a bad rare that
They
is the worst, but it's the best for me.
It is the best. Yeah, there you go.
It takes us on to number 14, where we have a mythic rare. And I have the same card for best and worst. And I feel
Uh-oh.
very passionately about this answer, which is Jeskai Revelation from Tarkir
Oh.
Dragonstorm. This card was so powerful, and then you could just loop it into oblivion so trivially easily.
Yeah.
Hated that this card existed in Tarkir Dragonstorm.
Yeah, there were quite a few ways to pick that up out of the graveyard. My honorable mentions are Ouroboros from Edge of Eternities and Elspeth Stormslayer from Tarkir Dragonstorm. But I had to give the shout to a card that did a lot of work for me in day one of the Arena Championship qualifier, which is The Rise of Sozin from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I love it.
Yeah,
Props.
Great. Takes us on to number 15, hot take during preview season. And I have a best and a worst here. My best, my Avatar: The Last Airbender format truths were really good. I ranked the bendings correctly. I recognized there's going to be synergy decks, lessons matter, mana bases are going to be important, there's going to be monocolored decks. The only thing that I'm like, this didn't age great. I called it an Esper format. I really would think of it as a Jeskai format. But blue, black, and blue, white are the best two decks, and that sounds like Esper to me. So I give myself max props for that, because my Tarkir Dragonstorm predictions were atrocious. It was embarrassing looking at that. I said Abzan is the clan to be in, with black, white, and black, green as the best flexible enemy pairs. And I said red was the worst color. Those are bad takes. And then my honorable mention worst take during preview season was spacecraft are a trap.
Spacecraft are a trap. Okay. Spacecraft. We were so down on that, and then we were so high on it.
Yeah.
Spacecraft was very cool.
Because everybody else didn't. I felt like the narrative was largely that people did not come up on it. And so I felt like we had to keep being like, no, it's good. No, it's good.
Yep. I have one take here, and this is where I chose to shout out Zenith Flare, which is Haunt the Network is Zenith Flare. And it was. Haunt the Network was awesome in that format, and blue-black was awesome in that format, and the narrative was green, 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 green. People who are green-pilled missed out on a lot of cool things from Aether Drift.
Yeah, Pact Alter, like whatever. Your Wreckage Wicker Folk, cards you've shouted out. Wreckage Wicker Folk into something, into Pact Alter, into Haunt the Network, just win.
Number 16, card that surprised you the most, which is biggest mover up and biggest mover down. Biggest mover up for me, Path to Redemption.
Yeah. It's not often that there's a card that goes from I must explicitly shout this out as bad in the crash course to it is the best white common in 50 takes.
Yeah.
That's quite a journey for that card to go on.
And is that the winner for you?
For me as well, yeah. Yep.
Okay. Biggest mover down for me, Sparring Dummy. The 1 in a green, 1/3 artifact creature that would let you find lands off the top of your deck, but then milled cards if they weren't a land. I was so high on that card. I was so psyched to put that in the Lords of Limited Cube during preview season, and it's just truly horrendous.
Yeah, it's not great. Yeah, I was like, this was one where I was scrolling through and I was like, like Benevolent River Spirit has fallen for me. Suki Kyoshi Warrior I had as like the best multicolor uncommon. That card doesn't really matter. I was doing lots of Grease Wrench Goblin from Aether Drift is Fable of the Mirror Breaker nonsense. That card's not good. But then when I saw this card, I was like, oh, that's clearly the mover down. And that is Constrictor Sage from Tarkir Dragonstorm.
Oh, that's a good shout.
That I had as my number one blue uncommon in the crash course. And I never would have guessed that this was worse than, what was it, Ice Ridge Serpent, the 5 mana 3/3 that bounced something, but it was
Mm-hmm.
worse than that. And it was
Mm-hmm.
like, so went from top ranked blue uncommon to, I don't know, a D. That
Yeah.
card just didn't matter.
Yeah.
All right, number 17, best reprint of 2025. I have a best and a worst, and it's a tale of two discard spells. The best being Virus Beetle from Edge of Eternities,
That's my winner also.
and the worst being Corrupt Court Official from Avatar The Last Airbender.
Ooh, I like the book ending there.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. Takes us on to number 18, which is Limited Archetype. I've got a couple outside looking ins,
Okay.
which is Blue-Black Artifacts from Ether Drift,
Mm-hmm.
Red-Black Start Your Engines from Ether Drift, and the winner goes to Red X Sorceress's Schemes from Final Fantasy.
He got it in twice. He
Got
got
it
it
in
in
twice.
twice.
I mean, I love that card. It's very fun.
I think if you're going like most powerful deck that you could get draft in and draft out, I would give it to Boros and Tarkir Dragonstorm. Some honorable mentions. I had red black start your engines. I had black green good stuff from Ether Drift. Like that deck was just very very good. I had blue white double spell from Edge of Eternities, and it's probably recency bias, but I love drafting blue red in Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Blue-Red Lessons?
Blue red lessons gets the win for me for best limited archetype.
I'm here for it. I like it.
Number 19, best mechanic of 2025.
We just need to, I think we just need to pause
Mm-hmm.
and shout out 2025 had excellent mechanics.
Yeah, I mean, I wrote like honorable mention the bendings, which is basically just like honorable mention for the entire set.
The entire format. Yeah.
Yeah. I also gave an honorable mention to Start Your Engines, which I just think was a woefully misunderstood and underappreciated mechanic that I loved very much. The winner for me is Spacecraft.
Yes.
Yeah.
Woo.
I just think Spacecraft is a really cool mechanic. I would be shocked if we don't see it again in the Star Trek set, and so I'm excited for its return. I thought it was a really cool twist, and a really cool twist as a viewer, as a player, to be like, this mechanic is garbage. What is this? But with that nagging voice in the back of my head that's like, trust R&D, trust
It's
R&D.
the main mechanic.
Main mechanic, it's probably good. It's probably good. And then just being like, no, this looks like garbage, but they made it work somehow. And that was very cool. So shout out to you, Spacecraft.
I have a couple extra nominees. So shout out Spacecraft. I would also like to shout out Warp from Edge of Eternities, as well as Lander tokens. Like I thought all of the mechanics in Edge just worked. Some Final Fantasy mechanics to shout as well. I thought the summon sagas were an excellent twist on sagas. That was a very cool, flavorful part of Final Fantasy. Job Select, just a classic. It was clean, easy to understand. And Tiered also was like Kicker, great mechanic. And then I think, but the two biggest, I think, honorable mentions for me are the Bendings and Spacecraft. And I'm giving the award to Start Your Engines. I loved Start Your Engines as a mechanic. I think it was woefully underappreciated. I think it was woefully misunderstood. I think the data did it a disservice, and I'm calling it the best mechanic of 2025.
Love to see it. I do have a worst. It's a slight gripe.
Okay.
It's not that I don't like the mechanic. I just don't like the templating of omens. You can't make the card look like adventures.
Yeah.
And them not be adventures. That was a real, like, you had to like shake off the cobwebs a lot before you were like, oh, that doesn't go to exile. So liked the idea of omens as like a way to make your dragons do something for cheaper, but didn't love that they looked exactly like adventures.
Takes us on to the final category, which is draft format. I saw a scooch in the seat there.
Well, because you don't know what my answer is.
I don't know what your answer is. You also don't know what my answer is.
I definitely know what your answer is.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. Is this going to be is Final Fantasy about to get upset here?
I can't comment.
Well, you're about to go. So am I going first then?
I'll go first.
Okay, go ahead.
It is not Final Fantasy for me.
Okay, so I'm sure you do have this. I'm sure you have ranked all 5.
Mentally, but not on my piece of paper.
Okay. So is there a world where you want to go bottom up?
All right. Bottom up. In number 5 for me, sorry, Ben Whites, It's Tarkir Dragon Storm. However, I will say I think that was my favorite podcast episode to record of 2020. I think maybe
Ooh,
that
that
should be
should
a
be a
future category.
category. Yes, that's a good
Favorite
idea.
podcast.
Yeah.
That episode was excellent. He was an excellent guest, and I grew to appreciate Tarkir Dragonstorm. I think I had too much trauma initially, though, to really have had like a total sum of fun during
Hmm.
the format. But I did grow to love and appreciate Tarkir Dragonstorm as the format went on. In number 4 for me, which is I hate that this is this low, but it is Edge of Eternities. I wanted to put it in the number 3 slot, but I don't feel like I can in good conscience because I think the other 3 are all just better formats. But I loved Edge of Eternities. I love Spacecraft, love Void, love my Perigee Beckoners, love my Nanoform Sentinels, love
Hmm.
Spacecraft. There was just a ton of fun stuff to explore in Edge of Eternities. In the number 3 slot, which has to get the nod for me ahead of Edge of Eternity, it's Avatar The Last Airbender. Stayed in best of one the entire length of the format. I think it has excellent, excellent, excellent mechanics. And I still am having fun playing it. Number
Love,
2,
love that.
the upset, Final Fantasy.
I can't believe it.
I was expecting to give it to Final Fantasy. Like if you'd asked me before putting anything on paper, it would have been a slam dunk Final Fantasy. And then as I was doing this, there were not lots of cards that sparked joy for me from Final Fantasy.
What
Like
I'm saying. That's my whole point.
I like Sorceress's scheme. If Sorceress's schemes and Triple Triad weren't there, I don't think I'd be interested in drafting Final Fantasy again.
Oh my God. That is such a
It's
relief.
catharsis for
It
Ethan
is
over
such
there.
catharsis. Because that's how I did a flashback draft of Final Fantasy this week. Because I was like, I should like I feel like what's happening is that like everybody I didn't like the set that much. Everybody is like, this is the GOAT set. It's the best set of all time, best set of the year. And so I'm like digging in my heels even more about like not liking it. I was like, I should draft it again, give it a fair shake. And that was my experience of like, I'm looking at the pack, or even for this exercise, I'm looking at the spoiler on Scryfall. These cards don't make me excited to play with them.
Yeah, I think it was a very good gameplay. Like I won. I understood Final Fantasy completely. I
Mm-hmm.
won a ton. But after doing a couple of them and getting the triple triad sorcerer schemes out of my system, I was like, okay, I've had enough. And then I was doing this, and I just kept loving cards from Ether Drift, and I loved those mechanics. And I had way more cards that I cared about from Ether Drift than Final Fantasy. And so in my number 1 slot,
Wow.
in an upset, Ether
Wow.
Drift, best format of 2025.
That is perhaps the greatest gift you could have given me on Christmas Eve. I don't know if we been I don't know if we've been aligned since starting doing this episode on our best set of the year before.
Is it also Ether Drift for you?
So for me,
I thought it was going to be Avatar: The Last Airbender.
so my bottom up is Tarkir Dragonstorm as well. But I'll stand by, I think, like a great like I honestly want to put Final Fantasy fifth, but I feel like I'm not allowed to.
The masses will come for
I
you.
just feel like they'll come for me. Like whatever, my taste is gone. Target Dragonstorm, I still really liked, and I still contend like 8 out of 10 set. It's just a really good year of limited sets. Final Fantasy is number 4 for me, but it's a pretty clear delineation for me of like those are my bottom 2, and these other 3 are like goats for me. As like I think I don't know. I have Edge of Eternities number 3.
Edge of Eternities is a Go format? That can't be right.
I don't know. Avatar: The Last Airbender number 2, and Ether Drift number 1. And for me, I was, we were talking about this last week. I was still like, I don't really know. Like I'm neck and neck with what it is. And then as I was looking through the spoilers, as soon as I saw Push the Limit, I was like, oh no, it's no contest. Like this set had
It had it all.
It had it all. It just had like banger build rounds. It had the like metagame shifts where you've like found some like the starting column decks, the rides end control decks, late game. Like start your engines was just a great mechanic. We got to hate green the entire time while it was the best color. Like it was just like you can't get better than that.
Can't get better than that. Blue Black Artifacts was a huge part of that. Like,
Yes.
there were just so many good things to do that were so different and so diverse, and so many iconic cards. I
I
think
agree.
what sealed it for me was when I went in commons, when I went Rides End, Wreckage, Wicker Folk, Packed Altair. I was like, I think I like DFT like way more than Final Fantasy. Like, as I was going through
Yeah.
and looking at the cards.
Yeah. Oh, how fun. Okay, I feel like we've got some good takeaways for now. I feel like I like favorite podcast episode as a new category, Imperial Oath Award winner as a new category, and I think collaborating on nominees will be fun.
Yes, I like, and we'll just have a shared Google Doc, and then
Have a shared Google Doc, and like we could be like, I mean, we'll have to fudge the things because want to make sure that you just get to have whatever you want to win wins, and so we have to make sure that what we want as our winner is one of the nominees, right? Like it's on that list.
correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll just work collaborative. We can't divvy up the work though, right? We can't have you like
No,
get the. We'll have to still do that, but it truly is fun to go
it's
through.
really fun.
I'm ashamed to admit this live on the air.
Uh-oh.
I started doing this and opened 17 lands and filtering by format, and did about like 2 minutes of that just because I was like, felt a time crunch, and I was like, I need to get this banged out. And then after about a couple minutes of that, I was like, no, I want to look at some magic cards on Scryfall. And then went back to Scryfall and did it like the right way and just scrolled Scryfall through every format.
I did it on 17 lands just because I felt like it was so easy to change the filter from like common to uncommon to rare.
It was, but I didn't like looking at the spreadsheet. And then when I wanted, I think 17 lands gets you quickly to cards that are the best. Like, it gets you quickly to shortlist nominees, but 17 lands doesn't make it easy to find something like, I don't know, Chocobo Kick from Final Fantasy or something. Yeah. Like, that is going to get buried, and you're not going to scroll down far enough to see it. And I wanted to see those kind of cards and shout them out.
Yeah. This is very fun. I'm excited to have another year in the books. This is our 8th calendar year?
8th and together? A half. Yeah, we would have started June 8 years ago,
2017. So I'm excited to round it out.
We're going to be hitting episode 500
next
in 2026, the musical episode. Everybody's been waiting for it.
You'll have time to do that, right?
Absolutely.
You'll have time to write us a score and some songs.
Easy.
Excellent. Easy. Great.
Any final thoughts to get out about 2025? Did you leave it on the field?
I think this is the best limited year since we've started the podcast, and maybe ever.
Where is DFT among the all-timers for you?
I think it's got to be.
Does it crack top 3 for you?
What are my top 3? Throne, Ikoria. I don't know what else. Maybe.
So we did an episode where we ranked every limited format since we've started the podcast. And I'm going to read to you the things that are in Goated, some of which are things that I forced in there, some of which are things that you forced in there.
Okay.
So here are our Goated sets. War the Spark, Throne of Eldraine, Ikoria, Kaldheim, Dominaria United, Shadows over Innistrad Remastered, that's a personal one for me, Lord of the Rings, Duskmourn, Aetherdrift. Do you think it cracks into top 3? I don't think it probably does. Duskmourn has to be top 3.
I know. I think my top 3 are Throne, Ikoria, and Duskmourn, and then I might have to go. So Aetherdrift is number 4 on that list.
Yeah. I think I liked Dominaria United more than Aetherdrift too.
But there are sets, like there are years where I disliked a set. And like maybe we're like Final Fantasy is like as close to that. But I didn't dislike Final Fantasy while it was happening. Like I thought it was a good format. But like there are sets in most years where I feel like after a week I'm like, I'm done. This is horrible.
Spiderman.
Well, yes. If we want to include all sets from the year, then yes, we have that entry.
But that is like if we're talking best year of limited ever, that is not not a great nod.
Yeah, where we all were just like, and it was only a 10-month calendar year. we don't remember what happened in October, November, or whatever, September, October.
A very fun year of Limited, though. And I have to say, like, if this is what we're getting with Universes Beyond stuff, and it's this stuff more like this and less Spider-Mans, if it's more hits than misses, I'm here for it. There's some good limited formats. We
are going to have to figure out what we're doing. So we're having another Marvel set next year, but it's not a small set, but it's going to be Omenpathy again. So we're going to have to figure out card name stuff. Cause I don't know, that the paper versus digital naming stuff is just tough to juggle for a podcast. And
I would like to go all digital personally
from jump.
Okay.
And then TMNT is a small set, right? I think.
Is it?
Yeah, I think TMNT is a small set, or maybe Star Trek is skipping a small set. So yeah, I'm like, what are we going to do about that?
We'll cross those bridges when we get there.
See, okay,
we'll cross those bridges when we get there. Lorwyn Eclipsed should be good.
I hope so.
I did not play OG Lorwyn, so this is going to be my first time Lorwyn Eclipsing.
I've done like a flashback draft or two on Magic Online, but yeah, it was not a set I played live. That was during my sabbatical from Magic, if you will.
Me as well. So continuing our similar childhoods.
Exactly.
All right. On that note, happy holidays to everyone. Happy New Year. We'll be listening to this a few days before 2026, or if you're if you're a slow listener, if you don't listen right when it drops, maybe you will be listening to it in 2026. But happy New Year, happy holidays to everyone. Much love. Only gratitude and all of that for everyone listening to the podcast and everything that's going on in both of our lives.
100%.
Thank you, as always, to Salty Pretzels for our intro and outro music. Make sure you give it a listen.
You can find all of our content at lordsoflimited.com, links to our Patreon page, our episode backlog, our YouTube channel, our Twitch streams. All of that is available at lordsoflimited.com.
If you've got any feedback about the show or any questions, shoot us an email at lordsoflimited@gmail.com.
Thanks so much for listening, and we'll catch you next week for another episode of Lords of Limited.
Thanks, everybody. See you later.